This is your girl Kamika coming to you live with the What's Good from the Desk of the Therapist podcast. Super excited about my special guest today. Ready for him to introduce himself to some and present himself to others. So without further ado, will you please introduce yourself to the people?
Absolutely. What's good, y'all? I am Sean Tucker, known dancer, choreographer, teacher, everything. This big personality, happy to be here, and excited you got me on the show.
Yeah! Sean is hearing me, y'all. This is awesome. Thank you so much. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. I love you. I respect you, and just excited that you made the time to come sit a little on me and sit with us and talk to the people of What's Good from the Desk of the Therapist. But today, we are talking about something that's very important. Charles, who was a very, very dear best friend of yours, has a very special story, and you are here to share that with us. So will you take the time now just to share a little bit about Charles and the story, please?
Absolutely. So Charles, that is my best friend, my best male friend that I had and still have in my heart. But we were friends for forever. We've been friends for a long time. We've been there for each other's journey, from the beginning to the end for him. My best friend took himself by suicide, self-inflicted, suicide. So it was tough, getting that call and knowing that this person that I talked to every single day was gone, and this person was actually, at the time, my best friend was staying with me. So it hit even harder then because he had came back in town and had been staying with me. So I kind of was able to see things as it started to trickle down. Yeah. And sometimes you don't really want to see it. Yeah. So you kind of try to block it out, but then reality set in. Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about, we talked about the transition and some of the things that you saw in terms of his behavior, maybe how he used to be, and then what that transition, like in terms of behaviors, sounded like or looked like from Charles?
Yeah, definitely. So as things started to turn, it was like around 2020, we went through a tough time. Mm-hmm. Everybody did. It was a change for everybody. So everybody's mental was in different places. And I think, Charles losing his mother was a big thing. They were super close and always have been. And so when he came back from Texas and was staying with me, I just started to see him go from this bubbly personality to a darker personality. He was staying in the room and kind of keeping to himself, and it was hard to get him to do stuff that normally we would be on the go.
Ready
Let's
to
go. Yeah. So I started to see that difference and that change, especially those last few weeks leading up to it. And we even had a conversation in the room, and I'm like, you got this, trying to encourage my friend like I normally do. Yeah. And he's like, we call each other sis. So he's like, sis, I'm too far gone. That's the last words I remember him saying. I'm too far gone. And so I kind of knew then, but then I was like, I let it blow out, my mind. But then that's when, down the line, that's when it happened.
And I would assume, so the blowout was more like, he's overcome this. He's been in this space before. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you got this, and I'm here to support you. So can you share with us a little bit about, like, what that day was like?
So that day in particular, Charles was, like, kind of just missing. We were like, where's Charles been? Actually, it was kind of the day before. He had kind of disappeared on us a little bit, and he didn't really come home that night. So as time went on, everybody went to work, went about their day, and I was actually at practice, at dance practice, and he had called one of the other coaches, Carmisha, who was also a close friend of his too. He had called her and was like, you know, I can't take it no more. I can't really deal with this no more. And Misha's like, where you at? Where you at?
Right.
And she told me, because we were in practice at the same time, and she came and told me, and we like, okay, we got to figure out where he's at. And then our other friend called, and she's like, I just drove past, you know, German Church in 10th, and she's like, it's a bunch of police out here,
Oh my God.
and I see Charles' car.
Oh my God.
And so at that point, they're calling me. We left practice, and when I pulled up on the scene, I was like, yeah, that's his car. That's him.
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. But I remember, you know, his services and your part in his services, and he was put away very beautifully. So you did an amazing job as a friend representing and celebrating your friend.
Thank you.
Very special. And even since then, his birthday celebrations and just keeping his memory alive, because I know he was somebody super special to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Looking back, is there anything that you would change or say or do? You know, what would that look like?
I look back now and I'm like, I wish I could have been there more, but it was also, Charles would keep the negative away from us. That's something he didn't really want us to endure as friends. So we would talk about that stuff, but it was kind of like, I'm going to let y'all in just a little bit, but not too much. You got your own stuff going on. So I just wish I could have been there a lot more leading up to that. And the signs I did start to see, maybe, you know, attempt to, let's get you some help. But we did. Mm-hmm. There was a point before then, which is why I think I more so looked at it as, he's gonna come out of this, because we went and got help. I took him. He called me. This was like a year before. Took him, got the help he needed, and then, you know, he's back to himself.
Good.
So yeah, it was a lot of stress, a lot of pressure on him.
That's it's making me feel like, you know, you got to woosah through this. But what would you say to someone who is right now, you know, we talked about the difference between suicide versus, you know, suicide ideation. The suicide ideation is more so you have the mindset, you know, the loss of hope, the depression, and then you have suicide, and that's the act of someone actually taking their life. What would you say to someone who's dealing with that depression and that suicide ideation, if you would just take a minute and speak to them?
For me, I would say when it comes to suicide, if you have those thoughts, if it's something that is really plaguing on you and pulling at your heart and mind, and you feel like the thought is there, even if you may not be ready to act on it, but that thought has crossed your mind, get the help. Reach out to somebody. Don't bottle it up. Don't close yourself off, because it's just gonna make things worse. Yeah. So reach out, get the help that you need, and just be open about it, and that's gonna help you in the long run. You know, with hopefully not even taking action on that. A lot of people they feel like they don't have anybody there to talk to. So even if you don't have family or friends, there's somebody that's willing to talk to you and take you by the hand and lead you down a different path than taking your life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to ask you, how do you find the strength? How have you been able to move forward? How have you not given up? Because I say all the time, life is life for us, and it's easy, for lack of a better word, to look at, you know, what we've lost, and again, also ourselves find a loss of hope and want to give up. But how do you, someone who's lost a friend so tragically, be able to find strength and moving forward?
For me, when it comes to finding strength and moving forward, it's tough, and every day is tough because, one, I still live by where that happened, literally right down the street, and also he's buried right there by my house, so every day I have to relive that moment, you know, even if I try not to. Driving through there, I always relive that moment. Yeah. But on the flip side of that, I know my best friend would want me to keep pushing.
Absolutely.
And he's always been big on supporting me. Anything I did, my success, he was one that would push me. So in the back of my head now, he may not physically be here, but on the, spiritual side of that, his spirit is still continuing to push me and encourage me to be the person that I am today.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I appreciate it. And I'm just thinking about, you're so amazing. I'm thinking about all these great things. I just want to be able to share with our audience before you leave. But I asked you to come today with affirmations. And so would you be kind in this moment to just affirm yourself for me?
Yeah, like I went with the I am.
Absolutely.
And I'm a leader. I'm healed. I'm brave.
Yes.
And I'm a fighter.
Yes, you are.
More than anything. I fight through all obstacles and all of that. I try to just overcome each and everything that's thrown at me. So all of those affirmations, being brave, being a fighter, being a leader, and having that hope, it takes me a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You have a lot going on. Like, your personality is so dynamic. Again, you're an amazing role model to our youth in the community, connected to a lot of different productions. But where can people find you if they want to follow you or look you up? Tell them where they can find you and maybe what they should be looking for.
Absolutely. If you want to follow me on Instagram. It is at Sean, SEAN _ the dancer, or on Facebook, Sean Tucker. But yeah, I post everything there, all of my dance content, any upcoming shows. That's the place to find it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I want to say to you all, suicide ideation is something that's very serious, something that shouldn't be taken lightly. But as Sean has shared today, there is hope, there is opportunity to support, to love, to nurture, to connect, to resources, and there are resources available. If you are someone, again, who is struggling with suicide ideation, please call the Crisis Hotline at 988. Someone is readily available and here and happy to support you. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing day intentionally. Go in love and peace. Bye.
Though I'm missing you, I'll find a way to get through. Living without you, I'm so empty inside, and my tears I can't hide. But I'll try to face the pain. Though I'm missing you, I'll find a way to get through. Living without you, 'cause you were my sister, my strength.
I was so lonely.
I felt so stressed. I needed someone to talk to.
3 numbers made a difference. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 24/7.
Someone was there to listen to me and support me.
3 numbers helped me find the help I needed.
988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Call, text, or chat 24/7.